This is Home Buying Basics, where we attempt to simplify the mortgage process of buying a home. I'm Azubuike with Edge Home Finance, and today we are talking about the truth behind down payment assistance loans. So if we're talking about the truth, that means we're talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. There you go. Okay, I got 3 talking points for this video, and I'm gonna post them right here. Is there a catch? The types of down payment assistance loans, which I like to call DPAs, and the pros and cons of all of them. First of all, is there a catch? Yes, there's always a catch. Money is never free. Money has never been free. Money will never be free. If you feel like you're receiving money for free, always remember that someone's paid for it on the front end. Think about a lottery, right? You got a whole bunch of people basically funding it with all the money they're spending on these tickets. And then at the very end, they finally draw one lucky winner and it's like, oh, I won all this money. But all the money has been paid for already, right? Well, the down payment assistance loan, that's essentially what you're doing most of the time, is you're paying for it on the front end. Typically with more closing costs. Down payment assistance loans typically come with additional origination charges, and they'll charge you up to 1% of the loan amount. On top of that, you have to pay for it on the back end with higher interest rates. That's the catch. Okay, number 2, the types of down payment assistance loans, which again, I like to call DPAs. The first type is second liens. Now with a second lien, it's set up as a loan, an additional loan that's gonna be on top of the primary loan that's funding the majority of your purchase. You can use it towards down payment and or closing costs. You typically get second liens in the form of 3%, 4%, or 5%. Did I do my numbers right? 3%, 4%, 5%. And those percentages go off of the total loan amount of your primary mortgage. The higher amount of money that you borrow on the second lien, the higher interest rate you're gonna pay. With second liens, you're not gonna have any monthly payments due on them while you're in the loan. But if you were to ever sell, refinance, or pay off your primary mortgage, you will be required to pay that balance of the second lien back. The second option of down payment assistance loans is a grant down payment assistance. So with grants, you don't owe the money back. It is actually given to you as a full grant. However, most of the time, just like down payment assistance second liens, you will have to incur an origination charge for them. Interest rates on these are typically higher, and once again, the more you borrow, the more interest rate you're gonna have to pay. The third option is not really a down payment assistance loan option. It's actually an alternate to the down payment assistance loans. It's called lender credits. And I'm sharing it with you because it's a great alternative option to the down payment assistance help that you might be looking for. Lender credits are options that you can exercise on regular conventional FHA, USDA, VA loans. And basically it's just a higher interest rate that gives you money back. With these programs, you can have a rate sheet. I'm gonna show you an example right here again. There it goes. So as you can see on this rate sheet, the numbers in red are the costs for the lower rates. They're called buy down costs, right? The higher you go on the rate, you get credits from the lender. And this amount of money can be contributed towards your closing costs. You can't use it on down payment, but it can cover your closing costs. We are able to do all 3 of these options, but I like the lender credit option the best, and I'm gonna show you a quick example of why. So for this illustration, the main thing we need to notice here is the 5.125 is the only rate option that we get with the down payment assistance loan that comes through a second lien. Versus on the conventional side, you saw on the previous screen, we have a whole bunch of options. And if we chose the 4.125, it would give us the $7,200 as a lender credit to subtract from our closing costs. Now the main thing that you want to see here is that the down payment assistance option is going to be charging you an additional 1% origination charge on top of the closing cost that's right here, versus we don't have to deal with that on the conventional side. So when we look at that, we see that this money right here is actually not really that amount of money, right? If you get a net number, we have a less amount of money that we're actually getting assistance for. It does give us a slightly lower cash to close in the conventional side. However, we're losing here on the payment, right? And we're also losing here on the amount of money that we have to pay back after we close the loan. So we have 2 winners with the payment and the less amount of money on the conventional side. Not to mention, this option here also gives us the opportunity to refinance a little bit easier versus the down payment assistance route. So that's how you look at the difference between the 2. All right, let's go over pros and cons. So I got more cons than I do pro. I'm gonna let you know right up front. The obvious pro is that it can help people who are short of funds. Down payment assistance programs can help. Additionally, if you're in a scenario where the seller is willing to cover all your closing costs, you could come out of the transaction with no money out of pocket. However, most of the down payment assistance programs will require a minimum investment. Most of the time it's $1,000. On top of that, in a market that's really competitive, which is pretty much the case everywhere right now, it's gonna be really hard to find a scenario where a seller is gonna be willing to cover your closing costs, especially when they're receiving a whole bunch of offers. They don't have the incentive to. There's no need for them to. One con is down payment assistance loans are harder to qualify for. That's right. They are actually harder to qualify for. And the reason is because they have income limits. Each county has its own income limit. On top of that, you have debt to income ratio caps that are normally lower than what regular conventional or FHA programs allow. So that basically means that you can't make too much money. If you make too much money, you're not gonna be eligible, and then you can't have too much debt. So it ends up giving you a really, really small window of people that can actually fit into that debt to income ratio scenario. Another con is that they are harder to refinance out of, especially the second lien option, because you're not allowed to roll over that balance when you refinance. You have to pay it off, and if you're not doing a cash out, which basically caps you at 80% of the value of the home, you're not gonna have enough equity to pay it off. Another con is that they typically take longer to close, and here's why. With down payment assistance loans, you have the first lender that's handling the primary mortgage and an agency or affiliate lender that's handling the down payment assistance loan. Both entities are gonna have their own sets of underwriters, and both underwriters are gonna need the time to underwrite the file. Sometimes the underwriters have different requirements, and you have to basically work with the two to get it all done. Typically what you see is the first lender has their stuff all together and they're pretty much ready to go. And then the second lender or affiliate or agency that's handling the down payment assistance loan is taking a little bit longer because they've got a big long line of files to go through and they're causing the delay. And here's a con that I think is probably the biggest concern with down payment assistance loans. They kind of have that reputation of taking longer, so they end up getting pushed to the back of the line in multiple offer scenarios. So if you have a down payment pre-approval and you have a listing agent that's calling on behalf of the seller trying to figure out what the situation is with your loan, doing some due diligence and asking the loan officer certain questions, it's gonna be revealed that you need the down payment assistance as your assets to use for closing the home. Once they find out that information, they're kind of like, I don't know if I like the sounds of that. Especially when they have a whole bunch of other offers with cash, conventional here, strong down payment here. In a scenario like that, the down payment assistance loan is gonna go to the back of the line of consideration. So in conclusion, like I said, I had more cons than pros, but this is the reason why I like the alternate option that I gave in the section of the down payment assistance types, the lender credit option. Definitely give me a call if you wanna talk through that. Again, we do provide the down payment assistance options as well, but we do want you to understand all the options that you can survey if you're looking for help as far as assistance goes with funds for closing. Hope you found this information helpful. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave it in the comments below, and hope to see you on the next video. Take care and God bless. Thanks for watching. If you found any of the content helpful, please subscribe, hit the notifications icon so that you can be informed of the next video upload. And if you're a borrower looking for a home loan, purchase, or refinance, I'd love the opportunity to work with you. Please give me a call or start the process at applywithzo.com.